Everyone, I could just get everybody started interrupting conversations, and sorry we're a little late. We've had a small technical problem with our slide deck, but I'm here to welcome you to the Susan Hood race for 2024. Great to see everyone out. We've got beautiful weather. Ron's here to elaborate on that more. I just have a few quick things to say. So first, I want to thank Port Credit Yacht Club for hosting this event and hosting the races. They've done a fantastic job, the barbecue and everything. So big round of applause for Port Credit. Next, I want to thank our sponsors. Drive HG has been our sponsor for many, many years. They sponsor everything that we do. That's why they're on all the logos. They're fantastic, great to work with. We appreciate their involvement. We also, again, like last year, have Club April Marine being our event sponsor. So they said, yeah, we'd like to sponsor this race. They're not, but they're here for what makes them different. But we're really happy that they stepped up in this race. And of course, we have North Sales, Accessibility, who are here year after year after year.
That's okay.
Yeah, let's give them a round of applause.
Your internet connection.
Okay, and lastly, but I think it's the imagination, the organizing committee for these races I joined because I thought what they were doing was fantastic and they were so professional and so well organized.
Vice Attorney. The name brand thing. Oh, he's even spazzing out a bit, I think. How about the enclosure?
Accessibility.
See what I mean by the handle? It's integral to those two arches. Yeah.
Oh, for Christ's sake, that's unbelievable.
Too wide. So I'm going to run up and see if the Heims are spazzing out as well. You have 1, 4.
It's great job. It's good out. It's a Are you able to get it?
Yeah, but I don't know what the fuck it's doing. It's just showing me. Water.
of 18. So we're you know, it's warm, it's cooler here, obviously cooler there. Slide, please, ma'am. Just click it. That's it. Look at this. So this is your currents as of this morning. Once again, we figured out the currents. They're, you know, the greatest surface current, and that's the first, I would say, meter and a half of water. Like, affects you guys a little bit. So this is the greatest current right now, and it's in this direction. So these are the dominant currents, which you can see down here. It's the dog's breakfast. I mean, it's all over loopy, it's kind of off, and it's just kabuffled all the way up. So, but the more steadier, I mean, if you look at you enter this kind of into the computer, 5 to 10 centimeters a second, you can get an idea of your ground made good over this area with that little current. It's small. This would be helpful to add it if you're going this far, but we're not going this far, right? So we're sticking in this zone. Next. So this is the 3 o'clock streamlines. And the streamlines this is not velocity. This is, what is the air behaving like with this gradient? So as of 3 o'clock, as the last one I could download, I download these every half an hour. I mean, I make these maps. The computer chugs away, makes them, and I post them on Twitter. So you can see now the way the gradient, when it tightens up again, so there's wind probably in this area here. Forget this, loser. So this shows flow, but not velocity. We'll get to the next one. Here's a bit of a hole. But right now, and you can see just oh, okay. Okay, go ahead. All right, so I gotta change color. I don't like this color. It looks better on the big LC. Right now, as of 3 o'clock, we had 8 to 10 knots here. And then over here was 5, 6 knots, and then it drops off. So there's a bit of wind here, a bit of wind here, a bit of wind here, but the highest is like 10 knots. Nothing to write home about. Do they do that anymore? Do they text home now or GM home? So you can see that, you know, there's a bit of wind here, and it's all draining this way because we have this pretty good southwesterly flow. Next slide. Okay, just wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. This is real-time satellite, high resolution. Is there any cause at all? No. This is today. So that tells you, what does it tell you about the air mass? Dry. Extreme, even with the converging air along the shoreline, this air mass is exceptionally dry. We have very little moisture. We can't squeeze not even one little cumulus cloud on this to give us help. So we know the air mass is going to remain dry tonight. Now, dry air masses, one thing you should know, they heat up fast. The sun comes up. When the sun sets, they cool off fast. And that, you know, we had humidity, it slows it down, but when it's this is bone dry right now. It's gonna, as soon as that sun sets, temperature's gonna drop real fast. Next slide. I'm looking just to make sure. So this is what we have. Okay. So what we have here now is we've got a weak front that's not doing anything at all. Northern Great Lakes, we're at the star. It's, you know, this is tonight, 8 o'clock. It's not really doing anything. Next one. And then we have high pressure, right? The guys are on Zoom have to, because I talk fast. Okay. So this is tonight, Friday evening. You can see high pressure. Here's an isobar here. And if you keep walking, you get to Sudbury on a Saturday night. Anyway, Sudbury, sorry, just thought of that. Sudbury, that's the nearest isobar. So what does it tell you about the gradient? Is when you have this gradient, local knowledge, local effects, topography, all that stuff that you're supposed to know in light air, that it kicks in. All of that stuff kicks in. You forget. You got no gradient, very little gradients. All the local effects. If you know the local effects down here for this type of year, for at night and stuff with this gradient, that's your advantage. Because right now there's nothing driving the air, just thermals are driving or heat off the land. Next. So, 8 p.m. Friday, can we go in more? So overnight, how much does that really move? High pressure moves a bit. The gradient still Sudbury, so it is technically Saturday night there. That's my and who knows what. So
Wow.
slammed them, it was up there with 3 or 5. It was fun. But I used to go out Saturday nights when I didn't go out. It was close to a bar, Ralph's, they called it. It's there anymore. And I just sit there with police officers who were pals of mine, wait till they come out and they just fight until teeth were all over the place. And that's what they're doing. They just sit there going, Ron, you're new to this. Let them finally collapse and then we'll pick them up. So they started beating each other and whatever. All right, so anyway, 8 a.m. look. So 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, gradient remains the same. Doesn't change much at all. Next. So 8 p.m. Saturday night, you're done anyway. No, I'm just saying if the winds don't stretch it out, chance for some showers on Sunday, maybe Saturday. I don't think I'm not betting on it, but the doesn't change that much. So then in your head, your screen's not going to change. It nothing. The positioning is going to change. It's going to change. That should go through your head. Next. So let's look at the 8 p.m. tonight. Okay. So you can see this is about, these are kilometers because you have to convert it to knots, but these are kilometers. This is where they think the 20 kilometer, 10 knots or so around. 8 o'clock tonight. This is the latest kilometers there. So these are the wind lines. This is the wind direction. Actually, it's a little bit angle to it, more like, but that's the wind. Next. Just wait. This is the drainage wind. The sunset, because it's flat. You should guys notice. Do you ever notice when you're out here, I'm saying if the grade is flat, sunset, and then there's that flow that flows out to the lake? You've got to notice that. We call it drainage wind because there's nothing to hold it back, right? The heating of the land was keeping it, and the land said, I'm done, and then it just releases, nothing to hold back, and you get the drainage wind. It speeds up a little bit, but that's where the air is going to be flowing from here, speed it up around 10 o'clock. Next. So midnight, we still have a large patch of about 10 knots, 12 knots. Maybe out here, it starts dying out on shoreline, like on 2 or 3 knots, kilometers. But there's still some wind here, but it starts to drop off there. Next, 2 a.m. That's when it starts to happen. Okay. So at 2 o'clock, so 2 a.m. in the morning, this starts the weekend. This now we start getting whole. Any breeze, even though when you have this kind of pattern, the wind 2 knots, 1 knot, 3 knots. Somebody passes wind on one of the boats, 6 knots, right? So look at that. Where's the fleet? Right. So anyway, so this starts to drop off. Next, 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to now be fluky. Okay, it's going to be fluky. It's going to be, there's a bit of wind here. This is the magic hour when the wind now is going to start to realign. Now the gradient's going to change a little bit. The thermals are going to start. Right now the wind's kind of died where it was, and now we're waiting for the sun to come up and to realign it and change its direction. Next. Okay. 6 o'clock in the morning, it's, you know, there's some 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, but out here, it's pretty quiet. You're gonna have some breeze, but it'll be really, really fluky. Next. Okay. 8 a.m. It now really starts to drop. This is the period now. The sun's starting to come up. The land starts to heat. Now that whatever's left out there is waiting for the heat to rise off the land. Now realign. Next. There it is. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, we can see the wind now. It was more southwest. Now it starts to turn. So the land starts heating up. Big heat island starts to kick off. This now the wind starts to do this. But it's still light. But it's now starting to build. Next. Noon. This is the signal here. When you start looking at weather reports, you have wind this way, wind this way, wind this way, and this way. There's a hole here. What kind of wind is this? You guys should know this by now. All local onshore. This is lake breeze. This is lake breeze right here. Lake breeze. So you gotta wait till it builds, and it's gonna build on the edges. Next. 2 p.m. Saturday, the wind starts to fill in. Now there is a breeze here. I think you can't see it, but there is breeze here because I looked at it. It's built to fill in all here, 7, 8 knots. But you can see the wind. It's going in these directions, like it's going away to the center. Next. And now by 4 o'clock, we have full-blown lake breeze.
You have to close the.
Okay. Now here's a movie of it. But just click it. I guess you can play whatever the hell you have there. This will put it in motion.
Yeah, there you go.
This is how I believe the wind will go. It's okay.
Brian,
It's okay.
we're doing so well.
Why? I don't know if it's supposed to close it.
So the arrows are surface 10-meter wind. And this color here is the wind speed less than 10 knots. Oh, you really? Okay. So what you're gonna see happen was the wind curve off like this, die out, and then in the morning it would start to realign onshore. But by late afternoon, because of the next weak system coming here, gradient tight, all this wind. By afternoon, it would have been great to show this. By afternoon, it starts to fill in this way, and you know east winds here. Topography, shape of the lake, and everything else. It starts, even though the model says 8, 10 knots. You know when it bunches up down here, it's going to be more, just because it's fun. East winds, the models always underestimate the power as the east winds, especially here, as it builds in. So you're left, whoever's coming back around 2, 3, 4. You'll be on a south breeze, sorry, easterly breeze coming across the lake, giving you that final push. Okay, that's it. I think we can go. Any questions before I let you guys go and get racing? Oh, that's all. All right. So no questions for me. Great. Thanks, guys.
One of them.
Want to say anything? Okay, it's just a couple of things we're going to caught up. the updates to the documents, there hasn't been any, so they're up on the website. Okay, that it's imperative that you checked your scratch sheets. We sent out an email, so we hope everybody did that. The start, each class is unique to studenthood, so review the SIs. And if it's not your warning yet, keep clear of the starting area. Be nice to your fellow competitors. Keep out of the way. The start, first warning is 1945. And don't forget, under the racing rules of sailing, you're racing from your prep signal, no motors. 1940 is the first warning. The marks are for the SI. The finish marks in place, so you can use it to get your GPS. There's the information on the nav warning that was published on it. Monitor 71 in case of issues or you around the finish when you're finishing, whenever that happens to be. Keep your radio on, and don't forget there's deadlines to file any protests or requests for redress, etc. There's a video. If you have any crew changes between now and the start of the race, please make them. Withdrawals, please follow the instructions and the sailing instructions on withdrawals, because we need to know where you are. If we don't see you finishing, we will have to chase you down. And if we can't find you, we'll have to get Coast Guard go looking for you. And that's not a good idea if you're sitting at home having a beer, that you really don't like that. No stealth mode. You're required by law to have your nav lights on. And claiming they're not working won't cut it, because you're supposed to have emergency lighting under the OSR category 3. And here's a little graphic about what your lights are supposed to look like, courtesy of CETO, one of our sponsors. Scoring and use. Don't forget, we are using the scoring penalty. If you unfortunately happen to create a violation of the rules, doing your turns won't help you. You have to submit the form and accept the penalty, which is a time factor added in there. So it's not a scoring penalty like 20%, is a time added to your elapsed time. So if you have to accept the penalty, that's what you have to do.
Thank you.
Okay, if you have to contact the race committee, that's our telephone number that we monitor 7/24 by the time the race is on, or email it at racecommittee@lure.ca, or if you're in range of VHF for the start or finish, you can get us on 71. And are there any questions?
Oh,
Yep.
Carol.
Now you have to check in. If we're flying the L flag, you have to check in. Yeah. The question is, is our intention to fly the L flag? Yes. And you have to follow what it says in the sailing instructions for that. Are there any other questions? If not, thank you very much and good racing. No, it's in a separate document. Wednesday night. Sir, that's what
was quick? Katie McNichol.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the original. I don't think it is, but it's